it just keeps going up, and it keeps going up, and it keeps going up, and it keeps going up, and then it goes down, and then it goes up. And if you think I'm describing a roller coaster, well, you might be right in a certain way. This is the ride it is being a Bitcoin investor. If you have been paying attention to anything involving the markets lately, you know that Bitcoin a couple months ago, or not even a month ago, was sitting just over 30,000, about to dip below, and it did dip below 30,000 a coin, and now not too much longer from then, it's 65,000 and apparently still kind of doing an up and up and up thing. So we're going to talk about it in this video for Wrestling with Finance, and whether or not you should get in on Bitcoin. Should you wait a little bit, or do you not want to miss the boat as it's passing by? Now, whether or not you want to invest in Bitcoin, there is one investment that I do think you should get involved with, and that's investing yourself and hitting the like button. If you just hit the like button, and while you're down there, you might as well hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already. It helps the YouTube algorithm, those magical strands of code, be able to let other people who may be interested in wrestling with finance and this kind of perspective on money and investments, in this case, cryptocurrency. It'll help them know that this channel is here for them. So thank you very much, and let's talk about that investment. So a lot of people always go, when I talk to them about cryptocurrency, in particular Bitcoin, because some people have asked me, and my neighbors have asked me, my friends have asked me, people at work ask me, because they know I'm gotten into this stuff and have a little bit of knowledge, more than the average person does on it, I assume. But looking at cryptocurrency and showing people, here's my BlockFi account, and here's my Coinbase account, and here's how much I have over here in this, and how much I allocate to this, which is about, I think it's almost at 10% now of all my investments are into cryptocurrency, spread between 3 coins. So people look at that and they go, well, how can you do that? Because it just goes up, and it especially back a month or two ago when Bitcoin went down below 30,000, and they're like, well, is this the end? And how does that make you feel? Whatever. And it's like, there's one reason why, if you're an investor right now, I don't think anytime soon we're going to be regretting investing even when the price goes down that much. And I'll tell you why. If you look at the charts of Bitcoin over time, it does these dips forever and ever. There's actually a stock model flow chart that somebody did that kind of has almost, sort of, not really, possibly by accident, accurately predicted the flow of Bitcoin as far as its ups and downs and peaks and valleys. And the thing about it is, every time Bitcoin hits a valley, the next peak is even higher than the one before. And it's been like that for a number of years. So say if you bought into Bitcoin when it was $10,000 a coin, and then it went all the way down to 3,000, and then you're like, oh my God, I did all this, I can't believe I put the money in, and then you pulled out, you would have lost a lot of money, because obviously now Bitcoin's at $65,000, and if that person had just stayed in, they'd be swimming in the dough right now. They'd be Scrooge McDucking themselves around all of the electric money that they have. So if you're basically looking at these trends and the fact that when it does a dip, as it just did, the next peak is even higher than the prior peak, and we've already surpassed the record high of Bitcoin again. There's going to be another dip probably in the next year, or maybe 2 within the next year, and it'll probably go back down to 30,000 or 40,000 or whatever, and then it'll go up again to another record high in 70s and 75s and 80 and 85, and that's just the trend that keeps going in. Now, if you do look at that chart, though, it does indicate that there's going to be a long plateau period once Bitcoin gets around 100,000 a coin. And if you're a person who's kind of getting new into this and you're saying, wow, that's not a lot of time for me to put a lot of money into this, there may be an alternative that you can look at that's almost based off of the same model. The second coin that most people who are really into cryptocurrency have, if they have Bitcoin and they want to expand into some of the altcoins, Ethereum is the one. And we've covered Ethereum before on this channel. And one of the reasons for that is that Ethereum's up and down cycles seem to almost mimic Bitcoin's from several years ago. So if you look at the price right now, Ethereum is trading around 4,500 or a little bit more than that or less, depending on when you look at this video and when I get it edited and put it online, because it could drop another $1,000 and of 5 seconds, and you never know. But over time, Ethereum has had this same kind of steady up period and then down, but then a higher peak and then down, and then a higher peak and then down. If you're a person who doesn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars you can just throw into and buy in a couple of whole Bitcoins, and you want to get into something else, maybe you got $10,000, you can own 2 Ethereum, 2.5 Ethereum. And if that price goes from the 4,500 it is now to, where Bitcoin is at 65,000 in a couple years, again, you may be swimming in that Scrooge McDuck vault. Of course, remember, this isn't financial advice, because I am not a financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor. You're always to make these decisions for yourself and do your own research. But one piece of research that I personally found, because that's what I can tell you about, is that a lot of people right now are banking on this Bitcoin ETF to be the catalyst for the biggest growth in Bitcoin throughout history. And yeah, while we've seen the growth here, there's a little bit more to that that's not that widely understood. The ETFs that they're coming out with in Bitcoin aren't really ETFs. They're kind of promises of having a ETF that will hold Bitcoin in the future. That's the kind of the best way to explain it. So instead of you having this ETF and bundled in your ETF along with your Johnson & Johnson and all your stocks and everything else and your REITs, is 5% of it is Bitcoin, but you're not getting 5% of actual Bitcoin. You're getting 5% of a promise that eventually someday you could have Bitcoin in there. So that's not quite what a lot of the crypto people want, and that's understandable, because it's kind of a promise on something that isn't real to begin with for a lot of people, and it starts going over people's heads when you start thinking about stuff like that. But that's why a lot of people say that the big bump, you shouldn't be afraid right now to get into Bitcoin. It's still not too late. It's going to hit another peak once you start getting it onto the actual ETFs that hold actual Bitcoin as opposed to a promise of it. So yes, while all of this cryptocurrency stuff seems to be a roller coaster ride and trying to get onto some of the smaller coins like Shiba Inu, which I'll talk about at some point in time, if it continues to do what it's been doing, and of course we had Dogecoin earlier in the year. All of that can be very confusing to people, but I think if you are curious about this and you want to kind of be somewhat safe with your investments, although no investments are safe, obviously, but if you want something that you can say, well, this looks like it most likely will go up in price as opposed to dropping or going to zero or going out of circulation like some cryptocurrencies have in the past, Bitcoin and Ethereum are probably your good ones. If you want to get on something that could be the next Dogecoin, that's a lot harder to predict. A lot of people are talking about Shiba Inu right now. I'm particular to the BAT token. I think it's way undervalued for what it is and what that browser can do. But again, that's a topic for another time. You can get anywhere from $50 of free crypto to up to $250 worth of crypto by using either Celsius or the BlockFi links down below. You sign up through those affiliate links and they give you some free crypto. So it's essentially free money. You might as well try it out. Also got some free trials for Amazon and Audible down there, and some free stocks, up to 2 free stocks that could be worth up to $2,300 from Webull. So check all that down in the description box below. Again, if you guys have any other questions or anything else, be sure to leave them in the comment box below as well. I will see you guys next time as we continue to talk about finances and crypto and the crazy world that we live in when it comes to money, right here on Wrestling with Finance. Thanks for watching and have a good day.